All right, good evening and welcome to another day of the E-Meet Your School. Today we have something different. All right. So I know we're having this series called E-Meet Your Architecture School. All right. But today we're having a series called E-Meet Your Design School. Sorry about that. Okay. Right. So today we have a an interior design school, and they're going to talk about their program on interior architecture. All right. So before we start, I'm going to just describe what's going to happen today. Number one is you are going to interact with the management and faculty of Bangalore School of Design and interior architecture. They focus on interior architecture, but they have other programs as well. Then they're going to talk about the unique features of their school, the general process to get into their school. What are the course fees, hostel, if any, and the other unique points of their school. Okay. And most importantly, during this presentation, you're going to get five uh, questions for the NATA 2020 new pattern. So keep your attention throughout this presentation. All right. Um, right. Now, before we start, please like this webinar and also subscribe to the DQ Labs YouTube channel and the small little tab here where you can type in your questions. All right. Now, remember that the NATA 2020 new pattern questions, we're going to discuss five every day during the each webinar. And if you want more of these, if you want the answer explanations to these, please go on to the DQ Edge platform, sign in, select the NATA 2020 new pattern course, and you will get the questions there. Now, some of these, there are 12 free sample questions, and all these are going to be, all the questions we're sharing as well, those during these webinars, those two are going to be shared. So what you can do is, to get access to those, you need to share it with 5 friends of yours, and then you'll get access to that for free. And then if you want further questions, you can access the 501 questions. That is from August 1st onwards. All right. So thank you so much for your attention, and looking forward to having a chat with Praveen, Mr. Dineshwar, Preeti Dineshwar, and Monisha Reddy. Looking forward to the session with y'all. Over to y'all.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you so much. I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. Okay. I guess you can see my screen right now, everyone. Loud and clear.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this live session with DQ Labs. I'd like to thank Dion and the team for giving us this amazing opportunity to interact with the students of design. So I'm Praveen Kumar, co-founder for Bangalore School of Design. Today we have the entire team of at Bangalore School of Design. We have a chairman, architect Dineshwar, and we have our academic director, architect Preeti Dineshwar, and we have our admissions head, Mrs. Monisha Reddy on this call today. So before we jump into the presentation, I would like to discuss one of the upcoming NATA examinations question.
Over to me now.
Your first question. The topic for this question is ability to visualize shapes. So I'll just read out the question. The given diagram is rotated by 72-degree anti-clockwise, flipped 180-degree along the horizontal and 180-degree along the vertical. Which one of the following is resultant diagram? So your time starts now. This is a diagram and these are the options.
it's about door close panama.
All right, Meena, you can go ahead.
Yeah, the correct answer is option B. Second option is the correct answer. Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Minna. Thank you for the. So, as I spoke earlier, these are the speakers for the day. And any given point, if you have any queries, please pop in your questions on the live screen, what you're seeing. We'll be taking it up at the end of the session today. So before we jump in further to discuss with all the other participants present here, Bangalore School of Design is affiliated to Bangalore North University for its undergraduate programs. And we also have an academic partnership with College de Paris École Conte for our international programs and diploma programs. So that's that. So we are located towards North Bangalore off Tanisundara Main Road. And I'm going to take a minute to showcase the small video of our campus. Please bear with me. Yes, that was the campus tour of Bangalore School of Design. And so our campus is spread over 24,000 square feet. We have all the facilities such as large studios for students to learn. And we have on-campus cafeteria, workshop areas like lighting and furniture workshops. And yes, and we've also tied up with a sports facility which is close by, which is a multi-sports facility. So it is a city campus, and yes, we're looking forward to have the students on board at the earliest. So I would like to go to the, I would like to request our chairman, Architect Dineshwar, to come and address the gathering here, please. So you have to unmute, please.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, okay, start again. Good evening to one and all. Thank you, Mr. Dion, for this wonderful opportunity to have an exposure to the students outside.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. So I will just give you guys a brief on why we started Bangalore School of Design and how we went about it and what was the necessity for it. So Bangalore School of Design as such specializes on the education of interior architecture, interior design. This is our basic USP, we call it. That's the base for us. And we started the college in 2016, 17 to enhance design studies in interior architecture, interior design. Basically, because the need for a formal education in these areas, which was becoming increasingly important in the interior design profession, was the need. Because there was a flux of schools which were doing different programs, but they actually, we needed to start looking at it in a very professional way, a very streamlined way, and that's one of the main reasons we started looking at it. And also there is a census which says is almost close to 67% of architects practicing or migrating even to full-time interior architecture and design. And also many enrolling into short-term programs, hoping to understand the expertise and the technicalities in this profession, because interior design is no more what it was 15 years back. Interior architecture and design was not one, we used to do a building and then we have the walls and we just to put the furniture inside. But today every detail is being looked into, worked into. Every technicality is right from your electricals, your air conditioning, your flooring, your wall finishing, your textiles, your the ambience inside for different given spaces is being designed. So to do that, there has to be a lot of technical know-how, expertise know-how, and that requirement is shooting up in a huge way. So the need and the requirement to streamline this interior architecture is much more relevant today and necessity in the coming times, and that it is growing at a vast and a fast pace actually. So we thought, who else better then? We thought that, who else is better to set this rolling than us, the people who have been in this line for close to almost 27, 28 years. And we run a profession where we are, passionately involved in design, both the exteriors and interiors. And the interiors is learned through, the journey, through hit and runs as such. And yes, the architectural school gives us that kind of an exposure to get into it. But with today's kind of plethora of materials, the amount of detailing, the amount of stuff which goes into interior design, design needs to branch out on its own. There's so much that needs to be learned and taught, and that cannot be done along with another education process which it is as of now enrolled in. So we needed to do that, and it is being given that importance abroad, believe me. So with our travels abroad and learning from there and seeing how much of value is being given to these specialized fields and how they are immediately able to improve on their interior spaces, is because of that the education and the expertise which they have learned in their programs is what made them different. So we all look towards Europe, we all look towards different parts of Europe to get more, to get the experience or to feel, to learn from them. But they have their ways of doing it. They have schools which do this, and then so we looked at bringing that into us. We said, let's bring that to India. India does require it because we are growing at a faster pace, and we really need to bring it as a professional school, no more as a vocation. So it is required. Interior architecture demands its own as a its space and profession, and people are looking towards it, and that's one of the main reasons we started this. So it was started by passionate professionals. A few of us got together and said, let's get this done in the right way, no more the other way. And we have also looked at different schools abroad and studied their curriculum. We have actually gone there, sat there, learned how their curriculum works, how they do things, and that actually made us better. Because instead of just sitting here and looking at them, we went there to figure out how these things work, and that actually gave us the right way of looking at going ahead of starting this program and specializing towards interior architecture, interior design. So that's the crux of it. So at BST, we have a very simple motto, Bangalore School of Design. We say interior design is a creative force in our daily life. That's what is drummed into the students. It's a creative force which we see it in our daily life every day. So the way we sit, our interior spaces, the spaces we sleep, move, work. So that's the basic kind of crux how we went about starting this, and that passion with which we started still runs in us, and we push that passion of how we look at the school, how we look at teaching it, the profession to the students too, and they are learning it. They're actually enjoying it. Most of them, they get into that kind of a mode that they're going to be professionals. It's That's what we drum into their head. So let me give you a very interesting, kind of census which took place actually. So this is from the Korean Institute of Design Promotion. It's called KADP, which developed the first ever framework to evaluate design competitiveness. So the report showed that Italy topped the list, and then it was France, and then it was obviously the European nations which actually looked at design competitiveness at the right level and the right way, how they look at design, how it is to be done. And actually, when we were going through this report, it took us quite a time to get this out. And then when we were going through this out, we found out India was ranked 17th, and it's quite high actually, comparing to the nations with US, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. Actually, we're just below Singapore. So it was quite nice to understand that. And then going through the pages, you realize that how this report was formulated was through three subdivisions, which I'm just giving you a crux, guys. I'm not reading the whole thing. It's about 80 pages. So the report basically had three subunits, which measures this. Is to design policies is one. Two was the second was the design industry, and third was the design culture. Design culture is the consumer level, the people who are going to use the spaces, the social spaces, and all that. So taking design policies, design industry, and design culture, they came out with this kind of competitiveness ranking as design. How people use these spaces, how does the industry relate to this kind of need, and how designers work towards this need. So it's a kind of a web, a triangle which works together. So the study indicates the growing awareness of design in different spheres, and the awareness to design institutions too, because finally for all the three, the institution is what makes it work. Because when you go through an institution of any studies, architecture, interior design, product design, furniture, landscape architecture, what happens is that institution, if it has the right formula of faculty, it has the right formula of teachers who relate to the student the right way, can make you the right design. You become the right design policy. You then start working in the industry. In turn, the design culture improves. So basically the whole crux starts from the design institutions. So actually this type of awareness made us do things better at BSD. We realize how we are going to grow. Okay, so interior design, interior architecture is also branching out of its core roots, to newer applications and utilities. The focus on a detailed, more detailed user experience in these spaces is very much the need. With so much of interior spaces happening, in huge interior spaces where interior architects are getting involved in a massive way right from day one, it shows the need for these type of institutions, and the branching out of students also into this type of programs, so that their core right from day one, by the time they finish the thesis, is quite solid. So that type of policies to grow towards the demand of design culture is happening, and we at BSc are quite focused or focusing towards doing that. And so the third topic which I want to bring across is the relevance of an interior design or interior architecture education now and in the the coming times. Okay, so regardless of basically, so let's say regardless of any aspiring designer, so let them be either, like I said, could be an interior architect, a product designer, furniture, like what was shown on the screen, a design landscape, even a design content writer. That's a huge job, because you need to know the design language, you need to understand colors, you need to understand graphics to even be a design content writer in Arc Daily or one of the architectural magazines or one of the publishing magazines of any kind of field. So anything which revolves around design. Do we as an individual, are we focused towards just going towards getting the licensure to practice? Is that our only goal? Okay, or are we going to take this as our passion to go ahead? So the two ways of looking at how we work, and we have tried to give this kind of a talk to our students, where we tell them that look guys, okay, we're going to work, yeah, you need to work in an office, you're going to make money out of it, and you need to earn, obviously you're going to do that, but look at it in a way that it becomes a growth within yourself. Instead of just getting, I finished my architecture degree, I'm going to get COA certificate, and then I'm going to do my masters and riba. But okay, that's the journey, but in the journey, do we grow within ourselves? That's what an aspiring designer does. So we at BST keep pushing that into our students. That's it's kind of it's like a daily bread we keep putting into them, saying, do the, be more an aspirer, be more a designer. So we keep pushing them into them, because in today there is a kind of a line which is sort of starting to blur between a lot of design students to designing is the kind of softwares and the tech which has come into it, where we are all using a lot of technology to do stuff. Yes, it is required. We have the 3ds Max, we do AutoCAD, we have SketchUps and different types. I mean, you guys, once you get into the design courses, the ones who are all here will start learning that. Get it from me that it's a tool to help you design. It doesn't make you design. So the designing comes from you, the aspiration has to come from you. So for that, you need to be at the right institution, guys. You need to that kind of aspiration is formulated or given birth in an institution, a good institution. And you as a person select which type you want to be. You do want to be the interior architect? Do you think that is you can finish architecture and get into product design? Yes. Furniture design? Yes. That's your choice, but go through this route, it really helps. So coming, why I'm giving you this kind of a talk right now is based on all this research. This is all actually given to us when we travel, so we learned so much when we did that. And from there, so our curriculum is so research based and very intensive designed curriculum, which provides a solid foundation for this career in any designer's office, or to being an entrepreneur. So once we believe in that, so once we our program which we have done around Bangalore North University, since we are affiliated to them, and from Ecole Conte, we have had we had a, had to sit in France, learn from them what is the type of process we go through. So that research helped us reset how we need to put across a lot of things to students. So it's very intensive research based curriculum from in BST, which is actually quite nice. Actually, it's actually the students in our college have fun doing it. Our students work also closely with faculty, with peers, and practicing professionals. During the whole their program of 4 years, 3 years plus, whatever whichever program they've enrolled themselves into. So this is the crux of BSD, what we do. Okay, so comprehensive full interior design education at BSD is quite in industry and practically related to its needs. So we again coming back is if you can see the video, what's happening. So, so we have this type of formulations where templates are done. We make the students do this, and then we ask them to reset, replace. It's very industry related in terms of our kind of education. It's not just finish your drawing and move. So what happens? You do this. What happens? There's a lot of questioning which comes into play. A lot of interaction. So there are professionals who are bought in, and they are asked to relocate all this furniture in different ways, and then see what they can do with the walls. Can we break the walls? Can we move this wall? What will happen if it's like this? So a lot of interactions, through that spatial design. So that enhances the thought, the brain wave. It keeps thinking. So that's the process we push to do our students. So we have a lot to relate. We do a lot to relate our students to the necessity of the industry and to the profession as what is required. The focus is more on that. Also, the focus is on presentations, how to present to your clients, which is very important. And apart from what is technical, we also give them the required business necessities, which is a must. How do you talk to a client? Then the garnering effective communication skills is such an important thing. How do you even go about explaining something to your client? How do you even talk to people? Explain your color schemes. How do you sell yourself? So that is a very important thing for any designer. So because of our experience, because of seeing what we have learned from traveling or learning from the other schools outside India, in Europe, we have learned these are the important factors which we bring into our program, which helps us, stand alone a little, let's say, or stand apart, or whatever. I mean, that's we do these things. It's fun. Also, we have a very unique collaboration with a practicing firm in our in the campus itself, which is it's an affiliation to an existing studio where live projects happen. So we did this because it's like I said, it's the college is started by us, and we can do what we want. It's to make this, so we know how to go about it. So we have a kind of a studio where live projects happen every day. Students just walk in, they can sit, interact with clients. So we have given that leverage to students. They sit and watch a professional talk to a client. They sit and watch a vendor talk to a client, talk to the architect. They sit and watch a contractor showing his bill of quantities, his rates, how he worked out. They watch an architect issue working drawings. So they are right there. It's like as if getting the school into an office. So that made so much of a difference. And when our students went for internship, we saw the difference it had. So they've gone into different architectural offices now, and they're working. Two of my students designed their own. They designed a small restaurant, and they were so proud of it, because what happens is, by this process which we put them, let's say one and then second and third and fourth, the confidence level is what we look at building up. The designer in them is building up in them. The way they go about and expose and communicate to others, that is enhanced in their learning process. So all this thing put together, they form such a nice kind of a cauldron where they all come in and they learn and keep moving ahead. So our totally inclusive interior design program focuses on industry design ready procedures itself, and a lot of thought process goes to critical thinking, which is quite important for students. Our curriculum definitely satisfies the educational requirements of the University of Bangalore, and for all the required internship, yes, that we do that definitely. But these are the added things which we do, because it is such an important thing that they go through this kind of a process. They mingle in with the projects which are on hand. They understand what's happening. You can see a kind of a shutter which we did. This was kind of a mock shutter which was done, and we worked with the students to do this. This is actually for a live project which is going on. So they found out how we can work on a lower shutter, and as soon as it did it, I'm sure nobody's going to forget this, because it is there, done and seen. It's not just some picture or some kind of a drawing done and forgotten. So these are the things which we at BST do overall. So and I'm actually quite happy to say that we are fast being recognized as one of the top schools for interior architecture, interior design, because our program is very architecturally oriented program. So a lot of technicalities, a lot of structures which we get emphasized in our design. There's a lot of emphasis on spatial design, a lot of emphasis on how we look at climate, how we look at the pattern, the sun path, the movement, the wind directions, all this, because definitely interior architecture is part of architecture. There's no way you can split it. Like if we have landscape architecture, it's part of architecture. The word it is part of it. So we do a lot of our program orienting our curriculum around this. So that's the difference in what we have in Bangalore School of Design, and we are doing step by step. We're moving up, and we are happy that our students are hopefully happy about it. They are. We see them now working. They take part in different competitions. All that, they're doing well. So that's about what BSD is and what we are doing at BSD. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you. Guys, let's get into the next question for your upcoming NATA examination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meena,
This
you
is
can take
second
over.
question. Yes, sir. Second question. So I'll just read out the question. How many possible unique paths along the set of line segments shown are there from point A to point B without retracing the path? Okay, this is a path given, and these are the options. Option A is 11, option B is 9, option C is 5, and option D is 8. Yes, time starts now. Yep. The correct answer is option D, 8.
All right, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Meena.
Thank you, Mino.
So our next speaker is our academic director, Preeti Dineshwar. I would request ma'am to please address the students who have gathered here for the session here. Thank you. I think you're on mute.
Keep forgetting that.
Go ahead. I think she's kind of frozen. I think Praveen, she's maybe she just lost connection or something. Maybe we can get in.
Possibly.
Yeah, I guess that's what happened. I guess so. I think maybe we can get Monisha in and then get back to Preeti. Can we do that?
Generally, let's just wait for about 30 seconds before we.
Done.
Yeah. Right. I think. Right. I think we'll. Do you think we can move to Monisha and then come back to Preeti a little later? Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I will bring up the next set of slides. Just give me a second.
Oh, Preeti is back.
Preeti is back. Preeti, you're back?
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected for a moment there. I have no idea why.
Oh, don't worry. Everybody's going through these things.
Yeah,
Good to have you back.
That's so true.
I hope it doesn't happen again.
Done.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll start again. Thank you guys. Good evening to everyone here. Thank you DQ Labs for giving us this opportunity to interact with the student community, which is our most favorite activity. And as you might have guessed, and as our name suggests, Bangalore School of Design. So we are an institute, a school that is exclusively dedicated to design education, as you must have guessed by now. And as a result of which, I would say we are different in a way that we don't offer any other undergraduate programs, and it's not like design education is one among many other programs. As a result of which, we have the right kind of faculty dedicated just to design education, a constant innovation happening all the time on the campus about how it can be bettered and how it can match with what is required in the industry as of now. And what I'd specifically like to talk about today is what we do beyond curriculum. So when we sat together and put our heads together, and before we even started the school, since we have been practicing architects in the field for say 25 to 30 years now, we said we just put our heads together and said, what is it that we want students to know beyond what they actually learn in their curriculum? Yes, there is a prescribed curriculum that the students have, but what else would we want our students to know if, for example, if they come to work at our office? So we came up with this beyond curriculum, the list of what we wanted to do apart from what students actually learn that has been prescribed by the university. So I would like to detail a little about that list, because after all, we need to give students something that will inspire them to design, inspire them to create, inspire them to think beyond just classroom learning. And a good design is, after all, a product of this kind of inspiration and this kind of creativity. So I would like to talk a little about the activities that we do beyond what the actual curriculum offers. We have something called as the workshop hour. This happens every week in the during the semester. Every week we have one afternoon dedicated completely to a workshop, and sometimes it may spill over into the consecutive workshop hours as well, in case we need a slightly longer period. So these are some of the workshops that we conducted recently. um, this one called the one you can see on your screen right now is the anthropometry workshop, where which was conducted by our architect Dipti. Here the students actually learn what is the requirement of an individual human body, how much space you need to stand, how much space you need to sit, what size should a table be. So I'm sure, as students of design, all of you are familiar with what the term anthropometry means, that you are designing for the human scale, for the human body. But and all this information is already available in the time saver standards and similar books, which are our bibles, for the rest of our lives. But actually taking a tape, measuring yourself, and it was a very fun exercise, and they actually decided that probably certain things that the standards even prescribe need not necessarily be true. So you figure out your own idea of how much space you require to move, which is an anthropometry being a very important and something that you can't do away with when you design any space. So that was one workshop we had. Then we had a workshop called structural learning. So this is something where we had the students to build a bridge with ice cream sticks. So this was conducted by our faculty member Ritesh. So the students actually made a bridge. They learned about structural elements. They learned about what kind of load the structure needs to take. So we had to actually get them to place bricks on top of the bridge that they had made, to see how stable it was and how functional it was. So that was a fun exercise that they did. We do invite a lot of experts from outside. It doesn't necessarily have to be something related to architecture or civil engineering or structures or something like that. It could be any form of art. It could be sculpture, it could be dance, it could be music, because at the end of the day, everything is an art form, so is design. So your inspiration, your daily feed of inspiration can come from anywhere. So this was a pottery workshop that we had, which was conducted by Artfully Yours. And that was a very interesting workshop, because the students learned about the material. One knows that clay is what we use to make pots, but what kind of a material is clay, how delicate it is, how technical it is, how what are the steps involved in processing that clay before you can actually make any piece of art out of it. And the students actually got to work individually on the potter's wheel and carry back home a little memento. So that was a fun hands-on experience that they had. And then we had a workshop called DIID, which is Design Interface and Interior Design. This was a very interesting workshop that we proposed, and it was done by our chairman, architect Dineshwari himself. And it was a series of exercises that they did to learn the principles of design. So that was very interesting. The next one, if we can move the slide, Praveen. Yeah, sometimes we there is this place called Design Barn, which is very close to our college campus, and it's a space for design thinking, design learning. So there is always some kind of an activity happening there, some kind of workshops that are happening there. So our students were invited to take part in a workshop on user experience. So they had visited Design Barn. And then we had another workshop on web designing. This again was by our in-house structural and software expert, Mr. Ritesh. So that was a very interesting workshop for the students, because they learned to design their own website. So they went into the intricacies of how I can make my own website, and they found it so exciting that you could do that on your own, and what is it that you need to keep in mind while doing it. So that was a very fun exercise that they did. Another exercise again, this was also by Mr. Dineshwar, which was a problem solving workshop. So they were given the the junction at Nagwara signal, and were asked to sort of come up with solutions to ease the traffic congestion there. So if you see, it's not just about interior design, it's not just about interior architecture, it's not just about spaces, creating beautiful spaces, applying color, applying placing furniture and working out the sort of circulation. It's also about public spaces, it's also about analyzing, it's also about coming up with solutions to problems that one would probably face in public spaces. So that was a very interesting exercise, where the students actually made models. They went there, they measured the road width, and they located all the spaces around that junction, and came up with lots of workable and sometimes not so workable ideas, but it was overall a very good learning for them. Another workshop that we had was the model making workshop, which was done by architect Banu Teja. And this was something that we did right in the beginning, actually, because we thought it's so important for students to be able to express whatever they have designed in a three-dimensional form. So your design and your ideas and your viewpoints are not complete. And of course, this is very much required before you actually get into the digital stage and you're able to express your ideas, either with a SketchUp or Photoshop and things like that. But it's always a very satisfying, I should say, if you are able to actually make a model of whatever you have imagined, whatever you have envisaged. So that was also a very interesting workshop that we had. After that, we had we invited these guys from this company Blum, because what I'd like to say here is that it's not just about creating those wonderful spaces. It's not just about using the right color, the right materials, and creating the right texture, the right lighting, the right kind of furniture, the right kind of ambience. uh, all this is part of creating a space that the end user requires. But as a designer, very important that you know how you make those pieces of furniture. What is the kind of hardware that goes into making that furniture? This is something that is probably not even I don't think I learned it in design school. So this was a workshop where students were taught, there was a presentation by these experts from Blum, and students actually were able to hands-on use those hardwares, those fixtures, those fittings, to see how you can actually put that furniture together. And they also had a few exercises and games, and they gave out some mementos, and it was a very interesting experience for them. Another workshop that we had was interior landscape. So we had an expert, Mr. Dambal, who came in, and he taught the students a lot about what kind of plants are suited for indoor landscape. What is it that you can use indoor, what is it that you mustn't use indoor, and what is the kind of space that you can create, how you can make a vertical garden, what is the kind of light that is required inside. And I must say that after this workshop, most of our students in their design projects had some landscape in their interiors in some way, form or the other. They were so inspired by the end of that workshop. So that was also a very interesting one. I think each one of them carried back a pot also home. After that, we had an oh yeah, I must talk about Unbind. So we had this communication in design. I'd like to say a little thing here. See, making creating your space, making your drawings perfectly, coming up with your design ideas, doing a lot of research on materials, on lighting, on fixtures, fittings, furniture, drapes, textiles, accessories. You've done the entire gamut that is required to arrive at your final design solution. But at the end of it, if you're not able to express express your ideas, if you're not able to communicate either today in college to your juror, or tomorrow when you practice to your client, if you're not able to express your ideas, if you're not able to explain what you have done, why you have done something, and how that space is going to work, then you have won only half the battle. So we felt at some point that it is very important to give our students a platform where they can learn to communicate. And it's not like an English class or something where I have 20-30 students sitting and I have a teacher telling them what to do. But this was a very unique experience for them, and very well done by these young enterprising architects who have started this setup called Unbind. So they visit various colleges and conduct these workshops. And that was, I think it spilled over to about 2 or 3 days. And I must say that the students really came away from that with a lot of inputs and a lot of confidence, a lot of ability to be able to speak and use the right kind of language. Yeah, that is also very important when you talk about your design. So the design language, the communication skill, the confidence, the ability to get through to somebody about what exactly you have in mind. So that was a very interesting workshop. These are some of the workshops that we have on the campus itself. So this is available 24/7. We have a furniture workshop studio. We have design softwares, which apart from what they do in the curriculum, students are most welcome to, to enhance their skills. They can continue during the workshop hours if there's something that they want to learn. So the software studio is open all the time. And we also have a lighting workshop studio where because lighting is something that is so important, especially when you create the interiors of a space, even exteriors, I would say, because during the day and during the night, how exactly a building looks or how exactly a space, what is the kind of ambience that you create inside a space, there's a lot that one can play with light. So lighting being one of the very important factors in interiors, we have a lighting workshop studio also on our campus, which is open to the students all the time. Yeah. Apart from this, in fact, I forgot to mention, we also do movie screenings very often during the workshop hours. So there is a discussion, there is a debate about the movie at the end of the screening. So that's another exercise that the students really enjoy. And of course they get to choose the movies. It doesn't have to be a documentary, it doesn't have to be related to interior design or have some kind of an art background, like Fountainhead from Ayn Rand. So it talks about the life of an architect. Doesn't have to necessarily be like that. Any movie. So there's a lot that one learns by dissecting the movie itself. Not just about spaces that they've seen there or the structures that they've seen there, but it's also about creativity and a lot of other things. So that is something we do. And yeah, the other thing that I want to tell you is that we encourage our students to take part in a lot of competitions. That again gives them a lot of confidence. It's a very good confidence building exercise to be able to compete in national level competitions and at inter-college fests. And I would like to proudly mention a few of them. This is at InSpirit at the Ramaya School of Architecture. So I'm sure many of you might have heard about InSpirit, which is their annual design fest that happens. So our students took part in a product design competition there. And they were asked to design a multifunctional public seating, which can be folded, which can be opened out and converted into a seating. You could probably have a table. I wish I could share pictures of the final product that they designed, because our students won the first prize at this competition. And then the next image that you can see, the CCD 2019. So this is corporate and commercial design. It was a national level competition. And here they were asked to design a multifunctional office space. And here they were shortlisted in the top 20 in the whole country. And RLS school is also a design school where during their design fest, our students participated there. And they were asked to design a recording studio. So this was a competition that was given to them, say about 10 days in advance. And they designed the space and they submitted the drawings. And we had two teams, so we won the first as well as the second prize there, and a lot of other prizes on spot events. So these are three of the many competitions that students have attended, which they really hold close to their heart. Beyond this, what else do we have? Yeah. We also encourage our students to visit sites. There is a little bit that happens on the curriculum, on the syllabus, but beyond that, again, like I said, since we are a team of practicing architects and we have live projects that happen all the time, we encourage our students to visit as many sites as possible, not just to learn about the structural elements like the foundation. For example, one of the images that you see there, you can tell that they visited the site while the foundation was going on. But we also take them, I mean, it's very sudden. So if there is a project where there is a laying of tile or some plumbing work that's going on in the toilet, then we just put them on a bus and take them there and say, okay, this is something that they need to actually observe and learn. And it's something that just stays in your mind for the rest of your life, because you'll never forget how to do a plumbing or how to lay a tile. Or for example, if there's a fall ceiling work going on somewhere, then we make a quick visit to the site and show them how the fall ceiling is done. So apart from that, they also visit the brick factory, the tile factory, the stone factory. So they made several product or material related visits to study about the different materials that are available in the market. That never ends, of course. We are also constantly learning, I should say. Yeah. So apart from this, uh, the other thing that we do, which is again beyond, so today the entire series that I'm talking about is only what we do beyond over and beyond what is there in the curriculum. So this is a design fest that we conduct at Bangalore School of Design. It's called Mosaic. And we've been doing it consecutively every year. Fortunately for us, since we are in the field and we are practicing, we are we are in the fraternity. We have a lot of colleagues, a lot of friends, a lot of classmates who are practicing nationally, internationally. So we invite all of them to the campus. And this is a one day fest for now. Hopefully we'll be able to make it a longer event in the near future. So we have eminent practicing architects or designers as the chief guest. We invite them to present their works and explain. As you can see in one of the images there, so the students and it's a very open discussion, so students can ask away questions and clear their doubts. And even the most random or silly things about why you put that roof there, or why you did this, or why you did that. So we tell them not to hesitate. We encourage them to ask questions. We also have competitions during this fest. So we have design competitions as well as on the spot fun competitions. So the design competitions are announced a week or 10 days in advance. We circulate it to all the design schools, and there have been some remarkable entries that have come in. So we have all these practicing architects judging these events. So it's a lot of design oriented activity that's happening across the floors. So you're running from one event to the other. You sometimes need to choose between two events to decide where you want to be and what you want to watch. So the campus is like totally buzzing with activity during the design fest. And some of the competitions are of course on the spot and fun competitions, but again they sort of encourage you to be creative, to think outside the box, and stuff like that. At the end of the session, on the day of the fest, we have a design debate, which where again all the architects who have visited us that day are on the dais, and students can ask away questions. There is a discussion, a panel discussion that happens, and again it's a very nice platform for students to actually be able to interact with maybe your future boss. So that's a very interesting day for us. Of course, at the end, it always culminates with a cultural program. So there's dance, there's music, and there's a lot of fun involved at the end of it all, because they've put in so much of hard work. So they just deserve to let their hair down at the end of the day. Apart from this, I'd also like to talk about our faculty, who are our backbone, who are our strength, who are the people who help us execute our ideas, because putting our brains together and coming up with all of it is one half of it, and actually being able to execute whatever we want to do is the other half of it. So we have a good mix of seniors, juniors. So like I said, we are practicing architects who have started the institute. So we have a lot of seniors who have close to 30 years of experience in the field, and we also have a very enthusiastic team of junior architects who are always willing to go that extra mile, always willing to in fact, we have even been considering keeping our campus open 24/7. So all through the day and all through the night, if we were given the permission, so that design is something that's constantly evolving in the kids' minds. So we have a very good student and faculty ratio, like Praveen also already mentioned. Our intake is very limited. We don't have more than 20 or 25 students max in a class, that's it. And we have at least 2 or 3 design faculty all the time. So like a 1:6, 1:10 ratio is what we look at all the time. So we don't we don't have more than say a max of 10 students under each teacher. And also I would like to mention that whenever we have these design reviews, we have again the practicing architects who are constantly coming to our campus. We invite them and they review the students' work. So apart from those who actually work on the campus, we also have architects and practicing designers who come in very regularly to either give their views or to give them guest lectures or review their design work, give them inputs, tell them that this is how the market looks at this project, this is what you actually need to do. So it's like constantly buzzing with the activity. And about our École Conté and Collège de Paris affiliation, I would like to say that our faculty have been trained by them to take on the international program. So we are constantly in touch with them, and we try to keep our faculty abreast so that they are able to deliver the kind of the European standard of education that is expected of us due to this affiliation. So I guess that's it about I mean, I could just go on, but I guess we need to close at some point. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that was informative.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, we have the next slide coming up as a question for the NATA upcoming exam.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the third question. The topic is sense of perspective drawing. So I'll just read out the question. Name any one of the fundamental errors in the drawing by using a word, one word or term. Okay. So the terms are given here. Golden ratio, anamorphosis, then foreshortening and perspective. So your time starts now. Yeah, the correct answer is option D, perspective.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Meena. Okay, we have the next speaker, Mrs. Monisha Reddy, who heads our academics bit for the Bangalore School of Design. I would request Monisha Reddy to please address the students who have gathered here.
Yeah, thank you, Praveen. Bangalore School of Design offers various courses in the field of design education. So we have the BSc Interior Designing course, which is a 3 years degree program affiliated to Bangalore North University. Then we have the BVA Interior and Spatial Designing course, which is also affiliated to Bangalore North University, which is a 4 years degree program. We have a dual bachelor's program in interior architecture. This is a very unique course where the students get an opportunity to do an international degree course in interior architecture here at Bangalore School of Design. So if you were looking at an option to go abroad and study this year and you weren't able to go due to the pandemic situation, you can definitely look at this option of interior architecture degree course, where you'll be getting the international certification from Collège de Paris École Conté. Apart from these courses, we also have the graphic designing degree course for 4 years. And we also have the BA Design Journalism program for 3 years. So for all the courses, all you have to do is you can apply online. The entire admission process is online. Register now at www.bsd.edu.in. That's the website. So once you register, you will be getting a mail. You can verify the mail and verify your phone number. Submit the application form online, and if you are shortlisted, you will receive a provisional offer letter from the college. So using this provisional offer letter, you can pay your registration fee and secure your seat at Bangalore School of Design. So with this, your admission process will be done online. So Bangalore School of Design also encourages students to, talented students to apply for a scholarship process. So the scholarship is based on 2 criteria. So one is based on merit. That is, if you've got more than 80% in your previous educational qualification, you can definitely apply for the scholarship process at Bangalore School of Design. And the second criteria is you can look at, the option is the creative talent. So if you have any creative portfolio, be it like in the field of design, art, painting, drawing, sketching, any field, you can submit your portfolio to us and you can still be eligible for the scholarship process at BSD. So moving forward to placements and internship, we train the students to be prepared for placements and internship right from the semester 1 onwards. So we will encourage them to interact with real-time architects and interior designers right from the semester 1, in fact, when it comes to their juries and for their design fest. So this networking with the students and the design experts creates more confidence with the students. So they build a very good rapport with the industry experts itself. So the next thing is we do have in-campus placements procedure happening. So the faculty at Bangalore School of Design help the students to prepare their portfolio, and with that they can definitely sit for the in-house campus placements procedure at Bangalore School of Design. Some of the companies that have been tied up with us for placements and internship are Live Space, Space Matrix, then RC Architects. Then we also have the opportunity of BSD Studio, wherein the students get an opportunity to work with real-time architects and interior designers even before they complete their graduation at BSD. So the next is the college is very well equipped with all the facilities of libraries, canteens, sports facilities, then cultural area, and of course spacious classrooms and work spaces. We also provide accommodation facilities for students who are coming from outside Bangalore. So for the boys, we have been tied up with Levista Living Spaces, and for the girls, it's called as Ask Homes. So there are various kinds of rooms. We have single occupancy rooms, double occupancy rooms, and triple occupancy rooms, high budgeted and the premium rooms, as well as the medium budgeted rooms. So the pricing depends on which room you select. So we also have transportation facilities for students who are within Bangalore and still find it difficult to travel. The college does provide transportation. So you can also have the route maps available on the website. So you can just check the website for the college route maps. Moving on, Bangalore School of Design also encourages students to, fund their fees by providing their easy loan options. So we have been tied up with EduWise for the loan option, which is at a very low interest rate and with very minimum documents required, and the process is faster. So all you have to do is you just register, get in touch with your admission counselor. So you can tell them what you require, and they will process your loan. They will help you get connected with the bank, and then they will process the loan for you guys. So register now, and hope to see you guys soon at BST. Yeah, thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Monisha. And now we go to the next question for our NATA examination.
Yeah.
Meena, please take it.
Yeah, this is your fourth question. It's understanding geometry. So how many lines were used to generate this image? So the option are option A 108, 108, option B is 120, option C is 58, option D is 72. So your time starts now.
This looks like it needs a little more than 30 seconds.
Wondering if there is a math to it, or should I just count?
Yeah. Meena, what's the secret? Is there a formula to it, or?
So just counting the different types of lines. So horizontal, vertical, slanting from left to right and right to left. That's it.
Okay.
4 different types of lines are there.
All right. Then definitely it's going to take more than 30 seconds. So a full horizontal line is going to be considered as one line, right? Not
Yes,
just the
sir.
bottom of the triangle. Okay.
No. Full horizontal line is one line.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes it easier.
So the correct answer is option D, 72.
72. So Veena M is close to that. Very good.
Thank you, Meena.
Not
Thank you.
bad.
So So we have one of our students speaking her point of view about Bangalore School of Design. I'm just going to play that video right now.
Good evening, all. I'm Sanjana, a student of Bangalore School of Design. I've been passionate about designing from a very young age, and I chose to pursue interior design because it is a field that allows us to explore our creative and artistic skills. After my PU, I started looking out for the best colleges specializing in interior design, and that is how I came across Bangalore School of Design. Bangalore School of Design is an excellent institution where the learning atmosphere is very much wonderful. The facilities at BSD are great. We have our own lighting and furniture workshop within the campus, sports facilities, cafeteria, student parking, huge classroom, and communal studio spaces. And all the books related to our syllabus and design references are available at the library, along with a huge stock of samples of materials like lights, stones, and laminates and other things. The campus life at BSD is great as it provides a very efficient environment for us to learn and develop our professional skills. The faculty of BSD are highly experienced and well qualified. They give special attention to each individual and encourage us to explore our creative side. And they are always available to help us in any way possible.
Is that
I think I have
done?
an issue playing that video. But never mind. We go to the next slide. So there's the next question coming up.
Yeah. This is your fifth question. So solve geometrical puzzles. So the given figure is on the top one, and they've given the options. You need to just find which pattern exists in the question. Okay. Yeah, your time starts now.
I'm somehow not finding anything.
Yeah, the correct answer is option A.
All right, all right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Meena.
We also enjoyed doing these puzzles today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are open for
Thank God.
questions and answers. If any questions are our way, Dion.
Yeah, sure. Actually, there have been quite a few questions. So I think one of the questions from Anisha is what is the difference between an interior designer and an interior architect? Or is there any difference between the courses or the profession?
I would request our chairman to take up this question, please.
Hi.
Favorite topic.
Yeah, getting asked, yeah. So basically, guys, what interior design to interior architecture, for doing interior design, the space is already there. It's existing. So you guys start working the given space. Maybe the flooring is already done. It's more like getting an apartment done up or a house which is ready.
So your voice is little low. Sorry.
It's like interior design is working on a space which is already there with a certain set of parameters in terms of flooring and walls and windows and roofs as such. So this is a given space for which we work with a set of parameters. Interior architecture will involve more in terms at the construction of that space in terms of how that wall needs to be done. Where do you want, if you want to even move a structural column and say that maybe this is not the right place to put the column and you need to move it because the furniture alignment doesn't fit in, or you want to shift the doors. So you are more involved as an interior architect in the given space right at start, and whereas in interior design, what happens is the space is already there. So maybe even the flooring is there. Maybe you as a designer then strip the flooring, or you want to redo the whole thing because you have a different a concept in your mind or a thought process how you want the interiors to be. So that's the kind of difference. It's a very thin line. What interior architecture, interior design is, they overlap a lot in terms of work and technicalities and spaces as such. But interior architecture gets more involved right from start at the base level of planning itself.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is pretty nice. So there's what is the entrance exam that's required? Is there an entrance exam? If not, what's the process?
Monisha, could you please take that question?
Yeah. So we do not have an entrance exam, but your admissions will be based on your 12th grade. So once you've completed your 12th grade exams and you've got the results, yes, you can be eligible to take up the admissions at Bangalore School of Design.
Yeah. There's no entrance exam. There is no CET.
There's no entrance.
There's no NATA. No. You can directly get through.
No.
Okay. So the next question is, how many seats do you all have for each of these courses that you spoke about? Could you please go back to that slide which showed the courses? Yeah, this one.
So I'll take the question.
Yeah.
So we, if you look at graphic design, we have about 20 seats. And if you look at journalism plus design, again, we have about 20 seats. Dual bachelors, again, we look at about 20 seats. And BBA, we are looking at about, say, 35 seats in that, around that much. And BSc is a larger chunk. We normally fill in about 40 to 45 students. And that is again split into two batches, two sections, because as a policy, we restrict ourselves to have a maximum of 20 to 25 or close to 20 as number of students in a class, so that the studio environment is there. We're not looking at a lecture style environment. We're looking at a more like a studio environment is the kind of environment we're trying to set in there. Hope that answers your question, Dean.
Yeah, that I got the number of seats over there.
Sure.
The next question is related to probably the fee structure for all of these, because there are questions related to the management quota. So I'm guessing there is no management quota. It's all direct.
Yes, there's no management quota, and as Bangalore School of Design, we are very competitively placed our fee structure at, and we are also providing education loans for the students at no EMI, 0% options. And if you look at the fees for example, if you look at the fees for our bachelor's program, BSc program, 3-year program is at about 4.5 lakhs. So every semester is at 75,000 rupees. So that's the overall.
All right. And it's a 3-year program, right?
Yes.
And so this means you're looking at 10 plus 2 students.
Right? Yes, we look at 10 plus 2 students.
Okay.
That is mandatory.
All right. So, so there's another question. Veena Madam, Veena M, what is for that we should get? I'm not understanding your question very well. If you could please rephrase your question, that would be good. So Yasha Bandari, you're asking whether it's common fees for all. It's in the range of 70,000 odd for, as mentioned a little earlier. Right. So Anisha is asking, what is the scope of interior architecture when compared to architecture as a whole present in present India?
Sure. I will just briefly answer that, and then I'll request Dinesh to take up that question. So based on my experience, what we've been seeing, most of the graduates, when we walk into any architectural firm today, 70 to 75% of the people working in that architectural offices are working on interior design projects. because that is the volume, that is the economics which is working when you look at that. Because if you look at a building, let's look at an architectural building, let's look at an apartment complex. So you have one building, but you have about 1,000 homes at that side building, and 1,000 minds are there. 1,000 people want styles, and they want spaces to be designed by their likings and by their own ideology and likings and so what happens is that is the amount of opportunity it's coming into play into the interior design as a market itself. So that is one way I would put it when you ask it. So you want to add anything more to this, sir? Dinesh, sir?
Yeah. May I, before Dinesh gets in, if
Sure.
I could add something to that?
Sure.
Um, right. See, Anisha, there's another. I mean, of course, like Mr. Praveen said, there is tremendous potential, but I also think that it's very important that you, through this discussion, you understand really what an interior designer does, what an architect does, what an interior architect does, and you see based on that what you want to do, because there is typically scope for everybody, but you should be able to identify what you want to do and then go for that in specific. That is going to really help you, because um, if you want to do interior design because the scope for architecture is more, you join architecture, or vice versa. That should not be the case. You should do what you want to do. All right. Yeah. Over to Dinesh, sir.
Both of you guys answered the question.
There's a little something that I would also like to add to that. If I might say this, looking at people from my generation, my contemporaries, it's always an architect who is by default the interior designer for a given space. So in fact, we've been running a few webinar series during this lockdown and pandemic period, so that we can keep the students engaged with the fraternity. And I had a panel of practicing interior designers who are all actually architects, who have taken to interior design because their passion sort of led them there, and now they specialize. They're all interior designers who have been practicing for about 25 years. So we had a very interesting panel discussion with them. And this is where the idea of opening an interior design school stemmed from, because the interior design is something that we actually learn along the way once we are out of architecture school. So I think it's very, very important and very relevant that you actually learn interior design to be able to practice it.
True.
True. Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So basically, the line is very thin between an interior architect and an architect per se. So what we have is a 4-year program. Realistically, it's interior architecture 4 years, and then you have your internship after that. So it's almost going to be it's almost getting into architecture. You're going to learn your structures. You're going to learn your technicalities in it. So it is quite a structured curriculum which we follow, definitely on lines with architectural program. Basically, because it's the parent is the architect, so obviously that program follows through to us. It does fall into us. It has to happen. So what happens with how the word interior starts to fall in place is fell into place in the last, say, about 10 years. It's when you started focusing more onto interior spaces as a space which you wanted to design for more to enhance the interiors or feel better. So that's how they fitted into an architecture and became interior architecture. So it's more or less similar.
Sure.
Right. And also just to build on that, I think in terms of scope, related to the question, I think in India there's a tremendous um, potential for all fields. Whether it's architecture, whether it's design, interior design. I think the number of, if we go to see for a population of 1 billion, I mean from an overall view, if we look at the population of 1 billion, 1.3 billion people, the number of professionals we have in India is very few compared to what is required. So potential wise, I think there's tremendous options there for everyone. But you just need to look in the right direction. You all have a different perspective on that?
No, it's true, exactly. As I said, you guys answered the first two answers. Were there on spot.
All right.
It's tremendous growth, like I mentioned on the census, which the Korean guys did. I mean, there's so much growing. It's going to happen. Asia is growing.
Yeah. And so over to the next question. What is the degree obtained after the 4-year program? All right. Is it a BSc or what?
So in our 4-year program, I'm going to quickly go back to the slide so that it's easier. So we have the 4-year program of, I think they're specifically asking about dual bachelor's interior architecture. You get literally you get 2 bachelor's degree. One is your BBA degree from Bangalore North University. Another, you get a degree from College de Paris École Conte, is a bachelor's in interior architecture. So that's what you get in a dual bachelor's degree. So when you look at your BVA, Interior and Spatial Design, it is a 4-year Bachelor's of Visual Arts, Interior and Spatial Design. This BVA is in lines with BDes, Bachelor's of Design. This is just a mere terminology what our university uses at Bangalore North University. If you want to compare your Bachelor's of Design program and the curriculum you want to compare with BVA program versus the Bachelor of Design from another private university or any other university, you would find the curriculum and everything to be on the similar lines. The terminology BVA is because it is a Bangalore University norms, but otherwise it is a Bachelor's of Design kind of value. I hope that answers the question.
Well, a little, so it won't be a Bachelor of Design. It's not going to be a BDes, right?
It won't be a BDes. It will be a Bachelor of Visual Arts.
Visual Arts. Okay, so BVA.
Correct.
And that's a 4-year program.
Correct.
Okay, so BVA over there and BVA in Interior and a dual bachelor. So one from France and a BSc from India.
Right? No, but BVA from India as well.
BVA is from India.
No, I'm talking about the dual bachelor's interior architecture program, the 4-year one.
True.
For that, it's a BSc from India or BVA from India?
BVA from India.
BVA from India. Okay. So all the 4-year programs are BVA.
Correct.
And then 3-year is BSc or BA, journalism, right?
Correct. Bang on.
Right. All right. Fantastic. Right. So, Sri Aditi, we covered the fee is around 70,000 for interior architecture. That's right. Yeah. And you said if someone gets above 80%, now this is for Veena M. All right. So if someone gets over 80% in their boards, then they are eligible to us for a scholarship, which is on that 70,000 per year. Is that right?
No, it's on the total fees.
Okay. All right.
It's on the total fees. So for the BSc interior designing, the total fees is 4,50,000. So on the total fees, they'll get a scholarship waiver off.
Okay. So what's the range of the scholarships?
So for the degree courses, the maximum scholarship value is about 50,000.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we have. Okay. Anisha is also asking, do we need to submit a portfolio to get into this college? Would it help, a portfolio?
It would definitely help when we are processing your application. Yes, it would definitely help.
All right, cool. And for the final question, Anisha is asking, I'm interested in interior design, but I'm confused if I should go through it by taking architecture and learning everything and focus more on interior, or take an interior design course as itself. So if I can come in here, I'll let you guys answer this, but just to give Anisha an example, the person who heads DQ Labs in Nagpur, all right, her name is Neha Joshi, and she is an interior designer from CEPT Ahmedabad, all right. Now, she had the choice to take architecture or interior design, and she wanted to do interior design, so she took that. All right. So I think it is very important for you to focus on try and identify what you want to do, and in this case you're clear that you want to do interior design. But yeah, but it's up to each individual. But yeah, your thoughts on it, Praveen?
Dinesh, do you want to take it up?
Oh, it's fine. So Dion is answering the question.
So I would also point out, like, as she suggested that should she take up a route of taking up architecture and then learning interior design on the job. See, back in the days, let's look about 10 years back or 7 years back. There was no formal education or professional education in interior design, so people wouldn't have a choice. So now we have institutions like, as you said, CEPT, or like any other reputed institution like Bangalore School of Design, all have a professional undergraduate program in interior design. If someone has that as an option, I think it makes sense to go in that direction.
Right from your undergraduation.
I will add to this, guys. I will add to this. So, building on what Praveen said and what Dion says too, is to the person is, see, today what is it? Is it is interior design is specialized in its own. It has got its own stature now, and it has got so much to learn. It is like it says, prior it didn't have that much. It was like, yeah, I'm an architect by profession itself, by education, yes, but I do a lot of interior design work and we do a lot of detailing work. So if I am an architect, but we do a lot of architecture interior design in our firm. So we have seen the growth of interior design over the years, in terms of so much of material, so much of study which is required to get the expertise. That's why there is so much of required expertise or knowledge for doing this course. That's when you actually come out and you're aware of what an interior design program is, instead of going through. Before it was the other way around. So people have realized now this is the right way. If, like he says, you need to understand that if you want to interior design, then that's the way you should go about. So I mean, it makes sense then going around like we used to do. So it's like that. I hope all the three answers answered your question.
And to add to that, you can save about 2 years in your education, because your BSc program is a 3-year program versus a 5-year program. Just
Save, because what happens, you then have to do your internship. So you definitely do learn it it's a different platform when we did architecture. It does help. There is no doubt on that. But I've seen people who have finished architecture, and like Dion said, that is you want to do interior design, and then it's again, because it's so much to learn now, not like olden days. So when you go through the system right now, it makes it much easier. That's it. That's about it. Okay.
Dion, can you hear us? I think we lost him there.
I think I lost him for a second.
So we've lost Dion over there. I think he's trying to reconnect, but he did share me the next question which the students want us to answer. What are your class timings? Monisha, would you want to take this up, please?
Yeah, for the degree courses, the class timings are from 9:30 to 4:30 on the weekdays, and on Saturday it is from 9:30 to 1.
Thank you. And the next question is there any separation when it comes to practical hours? Preeti ma'am, you want to take up this question, or Dinesh, sir, you want to take up this question? Is there any separation when you talk about practical hours? Is there any separation of hours or earmark to that?
Yeah.
Or
We
workshop
do,
hours?
yeah. So we do have theory subjects and practical subjects. And university syllabus has allotted certain hours that need to be followed. So if you actually go by the university books, it's about 3 hours for every subject for the theory and for practicals. But we always try and allot 3 hours for theory and 3 hours for practicals. But we always try to allot more number of hours to the practical subjects, because you actually need to do it hands on. So we try and borrow a few hours from the theory hours also into the practical, because there's a lot of drawing, there's a lot of model making, uh, again depending on whatever semester you are at that point of time. But yes, we do have more hours for practicals.
Done. The next question is from architect Shilpa Raj. Workshop hour is really important. How do you think we can have these kind of interaction in a post-COVID times? So I will just give a gist, and I'll ask Dinesh or Preeti ma'am to take over this. So the semester we are looking at to be starting from the September 18th onwards for the new batch of 2020 students. And the first couple of months is definitely going to be online, because primary is your safety of the students and the student community who will be coming into the campus. So we're going to be wait till this kind of settles down. And the third thing also is we're going to be opening up bubble systems. So we are looking at, so when you talk about the workshop hours, we will be doing bubbles. A lot of bubble systems will be happening. Group of smaller groups will be called into campuses. That is the one of the ways we are looking at to operate in the coming semester, at least. So we don't want 50 people to come into the same classroom, and because we're still not sure how this pandemic is going to pan out in the next coming months. So, but the way forward we look at is have bubble system of six students. So spread the working hours of the institution will be much longer. We will be using our weekends, and Sundays would be a full working day for a couple of months for the coming semester, because we have to catch up the lost time which we are losing currently also. So, madam, anything you want to add on to this?
I would say that we at least till the situation improves, we would probably be going online, even with interaction with industry experts, which is something that we have already started. In fact, so we are at least every 15 days we are trying to conduct these webinars with industry experts. Though of course it doesn't amount to actually being face to face and interacting one on one, but we are trying to make the best of the situation right now by conducting these webinars. In fact, we have one planned out for the next week also, where we will have the experts from the industry coming in and trying to teach the students online. But yes, like Praveen mentioned, we hope to get back to the campus soon, and even when we do get back, we'll have to sort of have them in shifts so that we don't have too many people in the same space together.
And just to add on to that, we are for the students of design, we are looking at sending them a design kit as soon as they start our online classes also. So this will have all the equipments required, their T squares, to their papers, to do the first semester from their home. So they should there is we are going that extra mile to make sure they have all the materials to practice the first semester of design. So that is also something we've thought of during this uncertain times. We're calling it as a design from your home kit or something like that. Dion, your voice is on mute, dear.
Yes. Yeah, I think that is great. I think it's been a lovely session with y'all.
Thank you.
We've come to the end of all the questions.
Sure.
And thanks a lot, Architect Dineshwar, Preeti
Thank you so much.
Dineshwar,
Definitely.
Praveen,
Thank
and,
you.
and the rest of the team, Manisha as well. All
Thank you.
right. It's been an awesome interaction today. So thanks a lot for making the time to come out here. And also to the students and on all the participants here, I've shared a WhatsApp group link. Now, if you want any updates about Bangalore School of Design,
I think we lost him there, but what he meant was he shared a WhatsApp group link on the YouTube channel.
or you want to connect with them,
I think we lost him again.
Yes. So please join that WhatsApp group, and we will be able to answer all your questions. And we can put you on with the faculty any other queries which you might have.
Thank you guys so much. It was wonderful talking to you guys. Hope it was informative. Hope you guys got some awareness of what the different kind of fields are there around architecture. I hope it was informative and it was good for you guys. Thank you so much for being there. Bye bye.
Thank you.
We need to hold on till.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wait for Dion to come back and say bye to him. I mean, do we wait for Dion to get in and say bye?
No, it's okay. I think I'm just trying to call him. Just let's give it a second.
The students are there. They left.
They'll be viewing us right now. Dion is facing some network issues, so we'll call it off for the day. Thank you for all the participants for spending time with us and understanding what interior architecture is all about. We look forward to having you on our campus at the earliest.
Thank you guys. Bye bye. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you. Thank you, DQ Labs, for this amazing opportunity to connect the students. Thank you.
Absolutely.